Right, I'm in the house. Apparently this red tape is the piano. That's not going to work, is it? Anyway, first thing I've got to do, I'll bring the doors in, just check that I've got the right sizes. At least I can open the windows in this place. Right, these doors aren't too bad. I've got to come over there, about 50mm. I've got to take 50mm off there. It leaves that piece about 70mm, just the same as that. Same for this one. That's just short of 50mm, 47mm, something like that. And I've got a pencil mark there that's 70mm. That's 70mm. So that should work out about right. I think the door will pass. Piano won't work though. First thing I've got to do, put the insulation on the wall. We're just going with the 1-inch stuff, against my advice. I've done the research, I've looked into all sorts of things, but they don't want to lose that gap that you need, that 2-inch that the Rockwool slabs would give. There's other kinds, I've looked into it. Don't ask, I haven't got an answer. It's funny, I used to work in this house about 12 years ago for the previous owners. I put these shelves up. They're threaded bar, 1/2 inch I think, 14, 16mm or something. Big thick heavy bar drilled into the wall. They look fine. And outside, did more, can't remember what I did in this house. I replaced this pelmet, and on the corner there I was holding it together and I stuck pins in my hand. I'm going to fit this insulation. I know that this wall is a million miles off. That one isn't so bad, and that one ain't too bad, but I know that one has a massive kick in it as well. So I'm going to scribe this insulation in. I could just cut it square, bang it in, be right. But I'll use this opportunity to show you how to scribe a piece in like that. Imagine this insulation has got like tongue and grooves, and you want the grooves going up and down, horizontal, plumb, not like that or that. Or maybe you've got a feature in the middle that you have to get absolutely centre. What I would do would be, because it's a dodgy shape, decide where your centre is, put a centre mark, top or bottom, don't really matter, and I'll get my laser on it and I'll show you. Right, so I've cut it slightly oversized. The insulation is nearly as thick as the skirting, so I'm not going to put it right down because they want everything as far back as possible. And imagine your board, your tongue and groove board with all its lines on it. You want to line up your laser to that. I'm using the marks that are on the board. So that's pretty much level there. Plumb, should I say. So from that, scribe that wall. That's my knife. I'm just going to use my knife and my finger and just run it down there. Cut that. Don't matter about that. I'll cut that. Then just like when I put the tops in and I scribe each side, after I've cut that, I'll take a measurement, put a little mark, and then I'll scribe the other side to that. I'll do this side and you'll see. So I've cut down there. It's far from perfect, but I don't care. But you get the idea. That's cut to that. So now I'll take a measurement on the back wall, put that on my board here. So I put it in the other way. I took a measurement on the back wall. It was 905 or something. I've made it 900 because I want this to go in easily. Plus there's a bit of a kick in the corners. But that's me 900. And parallel again. So what I can do from that 900 now is scribe that into the wall. And it should drop in then. And everything should be still plumb. And I'm just cutting it with a block of wood because that's near enough. So like that. I haven't cut it super accurately because I don't really care. If it was a board, then yeah, I'd take a bit more time, get my scribers out, cut it more accurately. But you can see I'm still on my line. Yeah, it was damn it anyway. And it sort of fits. I've just squished a bit of foam in there, just stop it falling out. That's how you do that. When you're scribing stuff, you always need a sort of a reference point to work from. And in this case, it's the plumb line. Right, I packed that level. And after about 30 years or something, I finally bought myself a little level. Like on my last video that I did where I did alcoves. I've got a 1 metre one that I've had 30 years, something like that. But it's 1 metre long. It never fits in these alcoves. Well, quite often it doesn't anyway. Got a 2 foot one that's just a little short. That one's too big. So I finally got that one, which I think is about, it's about 800 mil. 80 centimetres. Anyway, pack that level. Get my scribers. Just take that out. Set my scribers to that. Then I'll scribe that down there. It's quite a deep skirting going on, so I'll scribe that. But then I'll just notch that out. I won't worry too much about that. I'll do that with 2 hands, or not holding the camera, and that'll slide that way. And I'm going to cut it using this thick chunky blade. And I know that there's all sorts of fine blades, down cutting blades, finer blades, all sorts, but I like these because they're stiff. You know, you don't get wobble in the cut. That down there is a rip cut, so you want quite a coarse blade. And around the joint there, around the moulding, I'll just take care. It normally turns out fairly well. And if it doesn't, I've got to paint these yet. I'll put some bloody filler in. Right, I'm going to cut this from the face because it'll be easier, you know, rather than try to stand it up with doors wobbling all over the place. But what I'm going to do is cut at a slight angle like that. So it'll be cut back. It's easier to plane a little bit off if you need to. And you know that this scribe line is going hard up against the wall. It's not, you know, it's not being prevented going up against the wall by lumps and bumps. And that's partly why I use a thick blade as well. Get a fairly clean cut straight through. When I get to the bottom there, I might do some of that from behind so that I get a nice clean cut around the mould. I'm not going to film it because you've seen me do it before. and it's just cutting. And just before I finish that cut, that's the sort of angle that I'm cutting at. So the blade, so the base of the saw is running on this bit, which is a waste piece, so I'm not marking this all the time. That's partly, or good reason why I cut from behind, because you don't mark the face. Plus you also get a nice clean line, you don't get all this crap. It looks like most of that's on the waist. You can see my pencil line there, and there where I'm slightly off, I went slightly in there. But because I cut it back, I can just clean that off quite easily with block plane. Finish that cut off. That's not bad. This wood's quite thick, so it didn't cut easily, but I just need to take off a little bit there. A little bit off the top. And then that'll close up a bit more. Now that's better. Because I cut it back, because that front edge has got a bit of a point. I need to work out exactly where it's going to go, but what I can do is shove that up or hit that end, and that point will sink that in, tighten the gut joint up a bit. Now I've got to do that one down there. Yeah, put kettle on first. I'll run my plane down the edge there, tidy that up a little bit. I've still got to sort out the gaps, but I'll get it in first, get it fixed, then I know exactly where they're going to be. Handle's wedge shaped. My head probably keeps getting in the way, but that's plumb. That's what I like about these scribers with the thing in the middle. I can just wind it up by hand. I know that's the widest point, so I need to do that bit. It'll be in the way, so I'll turn the camera off. Right, so that's cut. It's not bad. It's not the best I've done, but it's well within decorator's cork. I'll clean this up a little bit. And I'm just 2 or 3 mil out there. Might pull over a bit. The gaps on the doors look about what they were before. So what I can do now is put some level lines across, and then because we're not puncturing this, foam crap, I'm going to build a timber frame at the back, just 20mm timber with a couple of studs so that it's strong enough to take the top. So I've got, that's where the back of the frame goes, level line through. Then I've built this frame. These aren't temporary, so I'm going to put a couple of screws in here before I fix them in. And then they're just supports. So once the frame's screwed in place, put a couple of screws down or into skirting or something. I'll just drop these in, stick some screws through the top, and spike it at the bottom. They're only legs. Then I can get a timber on here. These I should have sat on top really, so it takes the weight, but that'll take the weight, and then these will take the weight, that'll take the weight, because those shelves are quite heavy. And then once they're full of crap, I'm curious, I haven't done it yet, but that's pretty good. Sort of happy about that. everything I'm putting in is level, so the shelf should end up level, and I've got to try and join these two dots. Anyway, get some more screws in there, fix it in place, fix these legs in, put a batten on there. There's a sheet of ply going on the front. There's a bit of waste insulation, so I might drop that in there if it'll fit. It's 25mm and these are 20mm, so maybe not. There's a sheet of ply going on the front, that'll stiffen it as well. I'll stick some glue on. Then I can drop the front back in. Just a couple of screws in there, stop it moving. They're not adding support or strength or anything, they're just stopping it moving. So you don't need too many. Spiked it across the top here. I put them in a foot. It's just, it does happen to be about a third of this, but it's just a number I remember. Plumb them down. Spiked a screw in the side there. Now before I put these on, I'm going to put the board on because it'll be a bit easier, then I don't have to notch around these. Right, this back panel I'm going to scribe in. The bottom won't be seen and the top won't be seen, but the sides need to be within caulking distance. Before, you need a reference point. And this time my reference point is this level line that's going around. So got a bit of a kick in the floor, I might have to scribe that down when I get it finally in, but that'll only drop it by a couple of mil. So that's almost level, and that is almost level with my line there. So what I can do is scribe that. Looks pretty straight actually, but I've got a kick around there anyway. I'll scribe that, get a distance, put that on my board, put it back in the other way to the way this is. Similar, I'll work to my line and to that point over there, and I can scribe off my measurement then. So I'm just going to work off the widest point there, which is about that. And I've cut this board 15mm too big, so that I'm not cutting off and trying to cut off nothing, I'll give it 5mm. And at the back here, it don't really matter. Plenty of cork inside the shelves. So I'll cut that. So that's cut in there. I'll take a measurement over the back, mark it on here, flip this over. So I've swapped it around. That's pretty much level there, pretty much level there. Just had to put a back on to make sure I get it level. Set my scribers to that now. I've made this is about 907 across here, and this is 905, so it should drop in comfortably. Do that properly. So something like that. Lost the little corner there, but it don't matter. Get some screws in it. I can see where this one is, you know, where this timber is, but when I come to put the shelves in and the tops on or anything like that, I'll know that that one's a foot in. Same there, 1 foot in. Get some screws down there. I can put these buttons on and put the front on. I've cut 2 buttons that are going to go on here, exactly the same size. So that is the same distance there to there. What I did was sit this in, put it against there and just measured. I left it sort of 3mm short so that it doesn't push this off. It's, you know, this that can go hard up against the wall. I've had my metal detector on here. Socket should go down, lighting wire should go up. Don't know about pipes, sometimes pipes get buried, but what I have done, I'll show you, find the boiler. Quite often you've got pipes going around the ground floor. Central heating tends to be under the floor. Put the light on. And the boiler here. There's a pair of pipes going upstairs. They look like central heating, I think. And there's a pair of pipes there that go upstairs. So there's nothing in that wall on the other side. Fingers crossed. So I can get on and drill without any worries there. Sometimes here, next to these old fireplaces, you find old pipes because there might have been a back boiler at some point. I've got red dust out of both, so it should be good. At least it wasn't water that came out. Remember to tap your plugs past the plaster. Right, so the two buttons went on. Looks twisted, but I think it's the floor, because this flooring runs out. It's parallel off the back wall. So we'll see. I'll put a couple of screws in there. Like I said, I left it short so that this goes hard back. Put a bracket in there. I'll sit the bracket back a little bit so that when I tighten that one up, it pulls it up there. There's going to be a batten on here with the top on and everything. It's not going to go anywhere. Right, made the doors very slightly smaller than the frames. I normally do that because when you put a shelf in, it doesn't bind. But it's partly because I made them at different times. Where's my hammer? Right, they're sort of flush at the top here. I'll take this clamp off and do it properly. You see they're out a little bit there, so flush now, look. I need to do them properly because they're touching. I'll plane those off. And I think I'm going to cut the top on. Looks weird. Floor kicks down a bit there as well. So it sort of looks like it kicks in a bit. Like I said, I think that's the floor. Because if I put this against here, if anything, it runs in. It's just this house, nothing straight. Right, cutting the top. I've cut it to the width that I want. There's not going to be any scribing at the back, so cut it absolute. I want about a 15mm overhang here, so from there to there is 40mm, like that. That's 40mm on there. It feels like I've done this 1,000 times, but that's my 40mm, that's where it's stopping. It's touching at the back here. My frame's touching at the back, so that should be pretty close. Set my scribers to that. And I'll cut that off. I'll cut it there. It feels like I've done this 1,000 times, shown it 1,000 times. So I'm going to glaze over, but that's 920. So I'm going to mark that on there, 920 to there. So that was 920 tight, so I've made this just like 918, something like that, from there. Scribers. It's slightly off at the back here because that's touching a little bit, so I've left that off a little bit. Hot day again. Cut that off. So, like that. It's near enough. Decorator's cork around there. Bit of a puny top in it. Maybe I should let it stick out a bit more. I've done it now. See what they think. I'm going to sit the shelf on top. They weigh a ton, these shelves as well. So once I get that on, that's it for today. Hot, look, hot. Watch me break my back. Getting way too old for this shit. Right, now I can, tomorrow, measure down here. Let's say 95 to the rear. That looks about the same, which is good. So whatever that needs to come down, I'll mark the bottom of this and cut it. Then I've got to decide. That's hard back about there. I've got to support this somehow. I think I'm just going to screw a batten on there, push that up against it, maybe put another bead on the face of it when it comes to it. They'll lose 15mm, but I won't tell them.